My name is Cristina Tardáguila. My last name is really hard to say. Thank you for getting that right. I'm the Associate Director at the International Fact-Checking Network, and I'm going to spend like a really short time trying to explain what the IFCN is, because you might not know what it does, and I'm sorry for my English, I'm Brazilian. So I will spend more time than 10 minutes. Andrea just said it's okay. This is Baybars, and this is me. We are running the fact-checking network since May, and we're trying to spread the word around. We're trying to get fact-checkers together and to work together as a team, because we really need to collaborate with each other, because we have so many different people trying to fight misinformation around, and there's so many levels of development in that field that we need to share knowledge, and we need to work together to strengthen the field. This is what we do on a daily basis. We are more than 180 fact-checking units around the world. Actually, yesterday, the Duke Reporters Lab just came up to, their census just went up to 210 platforms around the world, which is amazing. When I started fact-checking back in 2014, we were only 40. So it means like in 5 years, this is how big the movement is growing. We do, at the IFCN, we trend everything that is going around the universe of misinformation and disinformation, and we try to approach governments and platforms and to work together and see how we can help either platforms and tech companies and fact-checking units to make their work better, right? We advocate for that, and we protect fact-checkers, because you need to believe that. I have just changed my entire life, because in 2018 I was threatened to death in Brazil, either by Lula's supporters and by Bolsonaro's supporters, because in Brazil right now, it's really hard to be a fact-checker. And as it is in Turkey, as it is in many other parts, in Venezuela, as it is in many other countries. So we try to protect what is being done. We have a code of principles. We believe that fact-checking is a really powerful tool, and there are so many people wanting to become fact-checkers, but fact-checking needs to be done in the right way. Right? You need to have, you need to be transparent. You need to be, to have a public correction policy, and you need to apply it whenever you have something wrong. And you need to be clear about your funders. You need to be, you need to follow a little bit of ethics when you're trying to tell the truth. And we're trying to teach that worldwide. So that's why we also do workshops, and we also do offer a Global Fact, which is our largest, it is the largest summit in fact-checking. The next one will be in Oslo, June next year, so you're all invited to join us. And we also keep a huge amount of information being published every day. We have the IFCN's website. It's hosted at the Poynter's website. And we do have a weekly newsletter that's called Factually. I really appreciate if you follow that too. And we also celebrate the International Fact-Checking Day. I don't know if it's in the UK, you have the Fool's Day in April 1st. But we do in some parts of the world, so we decided that since April 1st is Fool's Day, Fact-Checking Day would be April 2nd. Here's what I said. When I started fact-checking back in 2014, we were 40 platforms in 20 countries, and this was in Cape Town, our last Global Fact. And these guys in the back were all there, the lead stories, and Pagella Politica, and also Balito Bulo. And this is the team. We're growing, and we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop our work. Right, we have so many challenges ahead, but we're going to keep fact-checking. We keep saying that the fact-checking community keeps growing because the misinformation problem keeps growing too. So we'll just keep working. But the IFCN, since we're all trying to find a solution for this information and misinformation problem, we're trying to make the IFCN a group that is not US-based. It's a heterogeneous group, right? We need different people thinking about the problem. So this is how the IFCN is composed. There's a Turkish director, a Brazilian co-director, and there's an advisory board made out of Americans, Argentinians, South Africans, Indians, Spanish, and I mean, how does that say in English from Bosnia and Herzegovina? How the person who was born there? Okay, that's it. And we have different interests in that group. Some people only do debunks. I mean, they only deal with hoaxes that are spread online and you don't know who was the first one who posted it. And there are some others that are only doing fact-checking, like political, the ones that you probably know, who said the word, who said the claim. So, and there are different goals also. There are those fact-checking platforms that are only dealing with politics. There are those who are only dealing with health issues, those that are dealing with climate changes questions, right? And there's so many levels of excess of public data. I mean, I was just talking to Full Fact yesterday here in the UK, and we were just comparing how easy it is to reach data here in the UK and how hard it is to reach data in Brazil. And I was just laughing at myself. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had that in Rio de Janeiro, but we don't. So, and I'm trying to show you how different misinformation is around the world. So when we think about the solution, we have to think broad. One solution is not going to solve the entire problem. This is the state of fact checkers. This is a kind of census that the IFCN does. This is how we look like right now. In 2018, we're mainly a non-profit world, right? And now we're turning into a profitable world. The fact-checking community is getting money, which is unbelievable, right? Journalism making money? Yeah, we kind of, but not a lot. That's why I asked about the ads in the previous conversation. We really need more. We are more people. We have more effort. More work to be done. We are more platforms, but we are not getting that much money. So we still need to work on that. And right, Connie and Antonio, they asked me, like, how different is misinformation around? So I'm trying to, I selected a few examples of platforms that are in the IFCN world to show you how different it is. So once we talk about solutions, we think of them. Here's Fakname, and I don't even know how to pronounce that correctly. They're working on Iran, but they're not in Iran, right? The guy lives in Toronto because he just can't live in Tehran. He has a fatwa. Does that say, there's the word in English for that? Okay, he changed his name. He can't be in the photos. That's why he's not in the photo of any global fact. He's the one taking the pictures always. And he uses Telegram because he thinks it's, besides being the most used platform in Iran, this is supposedly the most secure system to talk in Iran, right? And there's very low access to public data in Iran. So can you imagine that, being a fact checker with an ocean of distance and having a fatwa against you and your family? That's pretty hard. So this is Congo Czech in Africa, right? They have all the issues with health. The health system is cracking under their 10th Ebola crisis in 40 years. They had thousands of deaths. And the problem there is that it's really, really expensive to even get an internet connection. The ones that really get a phone with internet, they are the truth tellers. And guess where they go online when they have the opportunity? They go on Facebook. And whatever is on Facebook is the truth. So what Congo Czech does is they fact check and they deliver the information offline. They handle papers, they print out stuff, and they go they talk mouth by mouth. And then Daniela Mendoza and Verificado team in Mexico, they're having the toughest time ever because Manuel López Obrador, the Mexican president, just created a fact-checking unit from the government, which has the same name, Verifica, which is kind of crazy. The guy kind of stole the brand from the fact-checkers. Yeah, 2 minutes, not gonna work. Then there's Great Africa Check on the other side. Now let's kind of show like the big ones. Africa Check is fact-checking in 2 big languages and local languages too. I just heard Boom saying, yeah, we have this regional problem. Yes, Africa Check does too, and they're kind of managing to work that out, right? They cover Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa, and they just created this wonderful, they call it Appcast. It's a voice note show, 5 minutes long, and they debunk information, and they only spread that on WhatsApp. It's like, just forward this to your family, friends group, right? And then it's a 5 minutes, very not heavy archive, and then people can hear the latest about what is right and what is wrong on internet. And they obviously, as everything in Africa, they deal with health issues too. And then here's Full Fact here in the UK. They're 22 people. They're big, and they have lords in their advisory board. I mean, really? It's just amazing, right? And they have so many people working in automation. They're really capable of getting whatever is being said in the in the Parliament, and then automatically getting that onto the paper, like speech-to-text machines, and you don't waste that time. So misinformation for them is something else, right? It's funny because when we talk about the topics, while in Africa it's health, here you're worried about migration, you're probably worried about economics, the Brexit story, right? And then you have other situations. So what do we have in common? And I really, really want to struggle that again. It's the code of principles. It's something that it's very much needed. In case, I don't know if among us there are some new platforms trying to exist or trying to be born soon, but please, if you're trying to create a fact-checking unit, don't forget that you need to be committed to non-partisanship and fairness. I know it's hard, but please develop a methodology and to be non-partisan and fair. You need to be transparent about your sources. So fact checkers, I mean, I always get that question. And probably all the fact checkers in the back get that question too. Who fact check the fact checkers? And the answer is easy as you. I mean, you just have to give people the opportunity to click in every link and review your fact check. So be transparent about your sources. The same thing for funding in organization. Just reveal where your money comes from. It can't be that hard, all right? Because the journalism needs to be, the accountability in journalism needs to shift. And then transparency of methodology. Why you're fact-checking this and not that? Just tell people that. That's no big deal. You just have to do an agreement with your reader. Just explain why you do local news and not international news. Just tell them in advance. And then be honest and correct whenever you are wrong, because you will be wrong. Fact checkers are allowed to commit mistakes. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Andrea.